Today you have 4 or 5 simple things that are your objectives to be able to accomplish by the end of the day. You need to know what a negative and a positive number are, or is. You need to know what an integer is. Okay? You need to be able to find the absolute value of something and know what the definition of absolute value is. Alright? So let's get started. First, a negative number is any number to the left of 0. 0 is your center point. Okay? Any number to the left of 0 is negative. Any number to the right of 0 is positive. Good. Okay? Now, an integer is a number that is whole, which is positive or negative. Let's think about that. A number that is whole. Well, what does it mean to be whole? Not any decimals, not any fractions. So an integer is a number that's whole, that can be positive or negative. Alright, so I'm going to write down some, I want you to tell me some integers. Tell me some integers. Go ahead. 1, good. 2, now I know someone else is thinking 3. Tell me another one. 5. Now I said it could be positive or negative. So what's another integer? Negative 20. Negative 5. These are all integers. They fit the rule. The rule of integers says it has to be whole and positive or negative. 1 is whole, 2 is whole, 5 is whole, negative 20 is whole, and negative 5 is whole. And they're all positive or negative, right? Now, think of something that's not an integer. 1 half. 1.1. 3 point what? 4. All these have a whole and then a part. Right? A whole and a part. This is just a part. A whole, which is 1, and a part with 0.3. Also, negative 6.2. Negative 1 half. None of these are what? Integers, because they're not whole, right? Okay, so these are not integers. Okay, just remember the rule is if I write it down, what are you supposed to do? Okay, now, a negative number is a number that is what? Less than 0. A negative number is less than 0. So what does this thing right here mean? Say it. Say it. No, it doesn't just mean less. It means less than. Say it.
Less than.
Again.
Less than.
Everybody.
Less than.
Okay, this is less than. Okay, what is this?
Greater than.
Greater than. Okay. So a positive number is what? Greater than 0. Say that. Positive number is
greater than 0.
Again.
Positive number is greater than 0.
And then say this one. A negative
Number is less than 0.
One more time.
Negative number is less than 0.
Good. Okay. Now 0 is neither what?
Positive or negative.
Because it's not to the left of itself, is it? Or to the right of itself, is it? Okay. Do you understand this? Positive, negative, and integer. You'll use this word right here the whole year. Don't forget, a whole number that's negative or positive. Okay? Integer. Say it. Integer. Again.
Integer.
Okay, don't forget it. Okay, now, what is this? A number line. Okay, now if we want the absolute value of 5, what does absolute value mean? No, you see, I hate that they've taught you that. Absolute value is the distance from 0. Say that. The distance
from 0.
Okay, so let's write it. Absolute value is the what? Distance from what?
0.
0. Okay? Now, have you ever seen on the commercial where the little bouncy ball goes on a word and they sing it?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to do that in math class. Are you ready?
Oh, no.
You can sing it or say it, whatever you want. Ready?
Absolute value, distance from zero.
Again.
Absolute value, distance from
Oh, I got you, didn't I? Ready?
absolute value, distance from zero.
So if it's the distance from zero, all you got to do is count how far from zero it is, and you're done. Right? How far is 5 from 0? No. How far is 5 from 0? 5. So the answer is 5. The absolute value, see, watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how far is negative 5 from 0? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand? How far is negative 6 from 0?
6.
Good. How far is 6 from 0?
6.
So what did we learn? Distance first. Distance can never be negative. Can you ever travel a negative amount of miles?
No.
Anytime you move, it's always positive, right? Even if I move from here to here and then right back, I still moved, didn't I? I moved 2 feet that way, 2 feet back. So how far did I move? 4 feet. Okay? So you guys need to understand, distance is always... Right already? No, distance is always positive. Thank you. Distance is always...
Positive.
Say it.
Distance is always positive.
Since distance is always positive, then absolute value is the distance from 0. Can absolute value ever be negative?
No.
Because it's the distance. And I just told you distance could never be negative. So if I ask for the absolute value of positive, it's positive. And I ask for the absolute value of negative, it's also positive. Comprende? You know what comprende means? It means, do you understand in Spanish?
Yes.
So I'll say all the time, comprende. Okay? Now, something else I want to teach you is to add positive and negative numbers using a number line. Pay attention. I want to teach you to use positive and negative numbers, add them together using a
Number line.
Okay. Now, a positive number always makes you go which direction?
Right.
So let's write that down. Positive number makes you go right. A negative number always makes you go which way?
Left.
Negative number always makes you go left. And where do you always start?
0.
That's right. Start at, you know what this means? At 0. So positive makes you move what direction?
Right.
Negative makes you move what direction?
Left.
And you always start at
0.
okay, so y'all okay, here's how we're gonna do that. You guys will say positive makes you move right. You'll say negative makes you move left. And you guys will say you always start at 0. You ready?
Okay.
Positive makes you move right.
Negative makes you move left. Always start.
Always start at 0. Listen, always start. Let's try again. But you gotta, now that you know what you're saying, go ahead and say it, okay? Ready?
Positive makes you move right.
Let's try again. You're saying positive makes you move right. Ready?
Positive makes you move right.
Negative makes you move left. Always start at 0.
Good. Okay. Now, let's add 5 plus negative 4 plus 2. And get an answer. Now, here's how I want you to do it. Where do you start?
0.
And what does it say? Is 5 positive or negative?
Positive.
So this is giving you instructions. Move which way, how many?
5.
Move
right 5 times.
Move right 5 times. So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, now I'm standing right there, aren't I? Okay. Now, what's the instruction number 2 tell you to do? Move left.
Left 4 times.
Say that.
Move left 4 times.
So I'm going to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm standing right there, aren't I? What's my last instruction say?
Move right.
Move right 2 times. Say it.
Move right 2 times.
1, 2. So now what's my answer for 5 plus negative 4 plus 2? Negative 3. Does that say negative?
No.
It's to the right of 0, so it's
Positive.
positive 3. Do you think you can do it?
Yes.
Let me let you try. I want you to do this. Negative 3 plus 6 plus negative 7 plus 4. I want you to do that one, and then I want you to do 2 plus 8, negative 8, plus 4 plus 1 plus negative 3. Do both of those. All right. Number 1 says negative 3. So what are my instructions there?
Move left 3 times.
Move left. Where do I start?
0.
So I move left 3 times, and I'm right here, right? Now what do I do?
Move right 6 times.
This says move right 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, now I'm right here. What's my next instruction? This says move left 7 because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I'm right here, aren't I? What's my last instruction?
Move 4 times to the right.
1, 2, 3, 4. So my answer is
0.
0. Now look at this one. Now guys, it's just like a board game. On a board game, when you roll a 2, you move 2 spaces forward. Do you go back to the beginning and we go again? No, you start from there, don't you? Same thing here. If the first thing says go left 3, you stay there until you follow the next instruction. You don't go back to 0 and then to the next one. Yeah.
Oh, I started in negative 3.
And then, did you get it right? Well, that's okay. All right, now what's this one say?
2.
So I start at 0 and go to what?
To
The right 2 times.
To the right 2 times, and then what do I do?
Go to the
Go
left.
to the left.
8, so now I'm at negative 6. Now what do I do?
Go to the right 4.
Go to the right 4, so now I'm at negative 2. What do I do now?
Go to the right 1.
Go to the right 1, so now I'm at negative 1. What do I do now?
Go back 3 times.
1, 2, 3, so what's my answer? Negative 4 for the second one. Negative 4. So if it's positive, you go which direction? If it's negative, you go which direction? You're already doing stuff that last year they had a lot of trouble with. Adding all these different positive and negatives together. If you'll use your number line, you get it right every time, okay? Now, negative 7, I want you to answer this question. Write it down and answer it, please. Negative 7 is how many units from 0? 6. 7. So the absolute value of negative 7 is?
7.
3 is how many units?
3.
So the absolute value of 3 is?
3.
Good. Okay? Now I want you to look at this. What's the absolute value of negative 8?
8.
Good. Okay? Now look here. The absolute value of, what's the answer to this?
4.
4. Okay? But look at the difference here. They put a negative on the outside also. So the answer to this, the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, but then you had to add this negative, so the answer is negative 4. You understand that? Because it's on the outside of the absolute value sign. Look at this one. What's the absolute value of negative 2?
Negative 2.
No, the absolute value of negative 2 is 2. But then if you bring this negative down, the answer is what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Look at this one. What's 3 times negative 4? Negative 12. Say this. A positive
Positive
times a negative is negative. A positive times a negative is negative. Say it.
times a negative is negative.
So 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 plus 2 is what?
Negative 10.
Negative 10. And what's the absolute value of negative 10? 10. You see how you did step by step? Look here. What is negative 2 times 2? Negative 4, because we just said a negative times a positive is.
Negative.
Now the absolute value of negative 4 equals 4, but then what do you have to do with this? Add it to the end. Okay. Now let's go back one slide. Look at this. What's the answer here? Negative 4. What about here? What is 0 minus 6?
6.
No. No.
Zero.
It's negative 6. This is negative 6 because you go left which direction? So if you go left 6 times, where are you?
6.
Negative 6. So now what's the absolute value of negative 6? What's 5 minus 2?
3.
And what's the absolute value of 3? 3. Not negative 3. What's 2 minus 5? Negative 3. And what's the absolute value of negative 3?
3.
What's 0 times anything?
0.
And what's the absolute value of 0? 0. So today we learned what an integer was, what a positive, negative number were, and we learned